Hey, so what's going on? This is the ninth episode of the Survivor Side Story podcast. This is your host, Libra God 90. And I just want to say this. I really appreciate, even though I don't have that many views on my past podcast I just uploaded, that was an hour long. Um, there are people who actually like that. It was a little bit risky. Here's the thing, like when you're doing something like that where like you have no video to show but just audio, right? And this is my very first time ever doing that, where the idea of my podcast, like I don't know if I said this in the past video, but I really do not want this to just be like something you just feel like you have to visualize. Like if you're driving in the car, you should be able to turn this on, right? And just listen. If you're at work, you should just be able to just turn this on and just keep grinding, keep getting your money, stuff like that. So that's just it. Or if you just like, I don't know, I ain't gonna say it. It's a little bit too explicit and there are kids watching. All right, or at least listening. But you know, if you just doing something private or whatever, you know, okay, that just kind of got weird. I don't want you listen. It's so weird. I wouldn't want you listening to me if you're being too private. All right, I'm gonna get off that. Pause. But I definitely want to continue this because this is something that I just want to rant. Sometimes I just want to do it, and I feel like I can continue to pump these out because to me, Dead by Daylight is very stale. It's been very stale for me for a very long time. You know, there's only so many times you can make a meta video as far as perk, a build, you know, about the new chapter. Like I get somewhat excited because I feel like there's newer content on how to, you know, play against the new killer as far as chase and, you know, which perks you can use. But I mean, there's so many other content creators who are much larger than me who can basically get that out in like a day or two or 5 minutes because they do this full time and I do this part time. You see, I'm a full time worker at my job, so I can only do this so much. And I just feel like I want to be able to just like express how I feel about the game. And to me, I really worry about this game. I really worry. Well, first I'm gonna say this: subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. On the road to 2,000 subscribers. Literally, I've been like maybe 2 weeks. I've been at just like 1,978 subscribers. Like literally, like I'm not even BSing you. Like 978. So 1,978 is what I've really been stuck on. And I understand that this is like a niche content. But I feel like, you know, like I don't know about you, but I love podcasts. I love episodes, especially if a person is like, you know, really easy to listen to and like you're chill. Like I feel like a lot of people tell me I got like a smooth voice and chill voice. Like I said, like this, even if you fall asleep to this, I will not take offense at because I would feel like this is like very comforting to you. You know, you can like curl up on a couch, you know, with your cat and just eating some stuff and chilling and like you just vibing. You know, maybe you're texting somebody, you know, maybe you texting a guy you ain't gonna text back or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how we play out here, I guess, apparently. But seriously, it's like I just want to be able to like do that. And in the future, I wouldn't mind having like debates and, you know, having people, if I ever get to that point, you know, as far as like how this game is. But I really worry about like how Dead by Daylight and where it's going at, because I'm sorry, dude, I just feel like TCM is just better. Now, I would say this. It's better in the sense that it's a newer game, right? But keep in mind, Prop Night was a newer game compared to DBD, right? And DBD been out for 7 years. And people don't really play that as much as they, at least not the player base from Dead by Daylight. But, I mean, every time I go on Twitch, and you got to realize, I know Twitch isn't saying that this is like the player base. I'm not confusing the player base as far as people playing the game versus watching. But I want y'all to understand, and I think I said this on the last podcast episode, is that if Twitch is like the biggest gaming viewership as far as what people watch, you know, there's Facebook gaming, there's, you know, people on TikTok watching, you know, that's, you know, YouTube, I get that, but Twitch is, I think, is still there as number one as far as views when it comes to gaming, and because it's like the biggest gaming source. And I still see TCM either, if it's not neck and neck, it's like above it. Still to this day. And the Alien chapter just came out. They just came out with a newer cosmetic. Dude, what are y'all? Who is, listen, it's no disrespect. Well, listen, it's like seriously, no disrespect, right? But like, who is coming up with these designs? Like, why are y'all trying to try my Nia like that? Like, I still bought the cosmetic because I got all her cosmetic. I got everything bought. Like, it doesn't matter what skin, headpiece, torso. I got everything. But like these cosmetics, yo, I want y'all to go to the game, like turn it on right now or whenever, and literally like dude, I'm not tripping, bro. What are y'all doing? Like who is coming up with these designs? Like do they need to take PTO and take a break, like and get somebody else in? Like who? Like I mean, I ain't gonna say I'm gonna do better, but like yo, like it's like y'all just threw on whatever and said, okay, this is a vibe. It's not. Like it's not a vibe. Take it off. Change it. Like get back in the house and change your clothes, dude. Like why are we making this complicated? These cosmetics be garbo. Okay? These cosmetics be garbage. I'm not holding you. It's just what it is. And it's $10. See, this is the thing. Y'all care. These devs care so much about the cosmetics and making money because they know people want to get camped and tunneled out and slugged out in a brand new fit. Hey, at least I'm looking good in my new cosmetic, even though I can't play the game for like 10, 15 minutes. Oh, if I DC, I'm going to get a 6-hour penalty ban. See, you can't listen. You can make any cosmetic you want, and it is what it is. And there are people that's gonna buy it. I mean, I'll buy it. It is what it is. If I like it, I mean, if I keep coming out with these Hattie, yeah, I said Hattie. Her cosmetic listen, it's not even just Hatties. I don't understand, like, what are y'all doing, dude? Like, y'all gotta, like, dude, these cosmetics, I just want y'all to do better. But even outside of that, you cannot do that and still have the game in the state of the way it is and think people are about to come back and play. They're just not, man. They're just literally not, dude. Like, I just went up against, I was going to do a video on it. I just went up against, I'm going to say, like, 2 days ago against the Skull Merchant, dude. Like, literally just kept us in the game. I swear to God, dude. Like, dude, man. It's just people. It's like there are people like this. Like, I know I can't talk because when I wasn't working, I was playing DBD. I was grinding, Survivor, and that's how I got to, like, how to be able to loop and stuff like that. And I kind of want to touch on looping in a sec, but, like, the game is already in a bad state. Do killers not care anymore? Like, I want y'all to, like, please, if there are any killer mains in the comments, I want y'all to really, listen, I love the feedback that y'all love. I love that. And I love that people are being very specific. And I know I would hate for this to be too long because I want you guys to be able to, like, watch it when y'all have time or listen to it. If you have YouTube Premium, I know you can watch and listen to videos when you're with the screen lock on. That means you can, like, still play my video and you can just hear it. But I got it audio version, so hopefully that's enough, right? But killers, like, do y'all not care that, like, the player, like, people are playing TCM? Austin was playing TCM. Aaron was playing TCM. There are a lot of people that's watching TCM. The game is not in a good state for Survivor. I'm sorry to say this. No, I'm not sorry. I don't know why. I apologize too much for stuff that's not even my fault. Like, I don't get. I'm a very nice person, but, like, to a fault, right? Like, dude, if you are struggling as killer and you do not average a 2K, you are garbage. You are brand new to the game, or you are just garbage. You keep see, you can't keep having this mentality where gens fly, even though they gave y'all 10 extra seconds on the gen bot. Like now we have to do 10 extra seconds because y'all just want to stand in one place at a hook. That's only gonna work against bad survivors. Do y'all not understand that, dude? Is there anybody that's really in the comments do not understand that? Like, if anybody want to raise their hand, I'll call on them, like, right now. I'm going to call you up to the board. But I just got to know, do y'all really believe if y'all play against good teams in Dead by Daylight that you can be any killer and you can just stand in the basement and at a hook and thinking you about to win that game? I swear to God, the most you're going to get is a 2K. And that's only if you have no way or somebody opened up the gate too soon, and after you killed that person, you come and catch that person, but no way, and then you have, like, I don't know, that one Freddy perk, Blood Warden. See, the thing that gets me about killers in this game is that, like, they'll do this against baby killers, and I'm sorry, baby killers. Let me start over. That only works, like killers will do this against baby survivors or discoordinated teams. I mean discoordinated team, that means teams are the opposite of Swift, which are solo queuing players. And it could just take one person that's not in that team. So let's say it's 3 people, 3 men, right? But then let's say I'm the odd man out. If I don't understand what y'all are doing, if I don't understand that y'all trying to sabo, y'all trying to do sabo plays, y'all trying to use the boil over, y'all trying to go crazy, right? Y'all trying to do y'all thing, chicken wing. But at the same time, if I'm not on the same plane as you, I can easily either screw that game up for y'all or vice versa. There's been many teams, like, listen, it's rare that I play this game to have fun because whenever I try to sabo a hook, whenever I try to, do locker fun chases where I jump in the locker and scare them with head on, I always have that one guy. I'm very competitive. I always get that one killer that just, it seems like he wants to prove himself. Or I'm messing up in chase. And like, here's the thing. If you're a competitor and you're a survivor, you can relate to this. You ever have a moment where you're just like, you're trying a new build, you're just messing around, right? And then you go against that one killer that like wants to try to prove a point to where like when they catch you or they outplay you, because mind you don't have your perks. You have a fun build. I could run windows of opportunity. I could run made for this. I could run balanced landing. I could run my self-care and make sure I heal because I know y'all hate self-care. I don't care though. I don't hate it. I love it. I'm not waiting on y'all to heal me, dude, ever. I'm not waiting on y'all to heal me. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. I'm not waiting on y'all. Okay? But there's situations where I'm just trying to have fun. I understand killer job is to kill. Their job is literally simply that. It is to kill. If the killer wants to be cool and farm, which I think is very boring, get me out of that game. And that's another thing too. You got survivors, bro, that literally try to body block you and set you up, and the killer turn on you all because you just don't want to farm. I don't want to farm, dude. I'm not a farmer, right? I don't know how to grow crops or none of that. Like I don't have that. I don't do that. Okay. I don't have chickens somewhere. I'm not trying to farm on any of that. I know that was lame. I get it. Yeah, I'm trying to be funny, but you know how it go. All I'm saying is that like I hate when I'm trying to have fun with a build and I'm not in my looping build, and then I get a killer that want to try me. And then I wish I could 1v1 that killer all game because I will drop you off. I'm so serious. But obviously this game is RNG, so if I choose the game, obviously ain't no killer stopping me in that match. Like I don't care who you are. Right? There's just too many pallets. It's just too good. Like there's too many things I can use there. Right? It's pallet town like Pokemon. You know what I mean? That was oh my god. That was a dude. Like if you young, if you old enough, you know. Like Pokemon, like Ash Ketchum, like he lived in like pallet town, like. And the game is like, all right, I'm gonna stop. Like you get it. Like don't act like y'all don't get it. Like clearly you do. Right. But I'm saying it, and that's another thing I want to talk about too, is about like looping. Listen, survivors. I know there are gen jockeys. I know there are people who want to like, be like the altruistic person who wants to be like the whole. I guess there are people who feel like they want to be doctors when they grow up because like you literally only just try to be altruistic and you're very altruistic in DBD, but you sell the game. Like you sell the game. Like stop trying to be like a medical student in DBD and just always farm and try to get healing points and all of that stuff because you're selling the game. Too many times y'all would just run into the bait. Like, dude, too many times I'm just seeing people just like running into explain to me how like you're in the a person's not death hook, right? You have to like write it down for me or like in a language I can understand. Why do y'all run and like a killer downs somebody that he immediately downs y'all? Like y'all have to be like around. And I know it's because y'all have flashlights. I know it's because y'all have flash. It's either that or like you're just trying to take an unnecessary hit when you could be doing a generator. See, the thing about DBD that makes it unfun is that like there's literally because it's really hard to like explain this, but it's just like I've said like 1,000 times. But I know there are people that say I play it the way I want. I just wish you were never. Listen, I wish you luck in life, but not in DBD. Leave me alone. Do not be on my team. I'm sorry. It's why I don't play with people because like I try to be very nice, right? Like I don't really understand this thing. I get it. People say I can play how I want, sure, but only to when it benefits them, if that makes sense. Like, oh, I'm bad at the game, so I made a messed up play, or I'm not trying to help the team. I'm hiding, or I'm in the basement. I'm doing these goofy challenges. I'm talking about goofy challenges. That only benefits them and it hurts the team. But let me go ahead and when somebody just say I'm not even always on that energy. There's times I would just say something or give like an advice. But oh no, I can do whatever I want. Who are you to? But it's just like you see how messed up this game is. This game is so bad, dude. It's so horrible. It is so horrible, dude. Like this is the first game I've ever played where I understand when it comes to being a tryhard, because you got a killer that you loop them all day. Mind you, the killer choose to chase you all game. They choose to do it. They don't have to go after somebody else, but they have to prove a point in a game. I can't listen. I cannot. You will catch me eventually. If you dedicate your entire time chasing one survivor, you will catch them, especially in today's Dead by Daylight. You will catch them. They can't, especially if you got survivors who aren't doing generators. So, like, you're not going anywhere outside the map. Like, you're not, like, we don't have that old DBD anymore where, okay, certain people are gone and we got to keep, y'all can just jump out. I miss those days, seriously. Like, I really miss those days where I can just be like, hey, let's just go. Like, here's Hatch. Let's just get a key. Let's just get out of here. Like, what are we still here for? Like, let's clock out, right? Can't do that no more, right? So many things I missed about old Dead by Daylight, but we just don't have that anymore. But let me just say this. If you're going to be any kind of help on your team as a survivor, you have to get good in chase. There's no way around it. There's no way. Like, and I remember those nights, dude, where I just never thought I would ever be a god in chase, and I am. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care. You can think I'm not, but I am him though. Okay. Like, I want you to understand that you have to get good in chase. Like, practice with somebody, watch videos. You can watch my. I got tons of videos and tutorials. I can say that. I can definitely. I have that. It's in my. It's not in the podcast playlist, but you can get some gems from here now. Like, but if you go to my DBD tips and rants, there was one video when I was just at 5,000 hours. Then I got one. I was like, I think at 6,000 hours video. Like, I had that many hours, and I realized, and I'm gonna say this now too. Not only do you, so here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Like, it helps to play both sides because you understand when you play killer a bit, there are certain things that, like, for example, when I started playing killer a bit, there were certain things and notifications that I will see as killer that I never thought that killer saw when I was playing Survivor. For example, let's say you're brand new and you never touched killer. If you unhook, the killer can see the notification, but you don't hear that. But the killer can hear and see the explosion. So anytime there's a fast vault, anytime you jump out of a locker or jumping into one, anytime you unhook, whatever, or if you throw down the pallet, make any kind of noise outside of alerting crows, you are literally making an explosion sound. Another thing too, let's say you never played killer, right? You just play something. Let's say you just got the game. There's times where, like, if you, like, well, it's not times. Killer always can see generators. Now, if you got deja vu, or if you got that one perk, I forgot. I think it's that Felix's perk, where you can see generators that are like you can see all generators and stuff like that. But you have to have a perk. But killer base kit can see that. Like, they naturally can see all generators. So a lot of times you have to understand, like, they can see what's a 3-gen. They can see, like, which is why I tell a lot of people, like, deja vu is a very good perk, because now I think they buffed it where you get like a buff when you're doing a gen that you can see that's like close together or whatever. So that's pretty great. But at the same time, you have to understand to break those 3 gens early, so that way, like, okay, so there's a lot of people, I didn't even know this in the beginning, but or not even that long ago, but there are 7 generators in Dead by Daylight, like, in a map. Each map they have 7, not 5. I know there's 5 gens that you have to complete, but there's 7 generators in a map. You only have to complete 5. And what you don't want to do is do all the gens that are spread out. Let's say they all spread out across the map. But then so let's say 4 are spread out across, like, Eatery Crows, and they're all on the outside. Okay? You don't want to do those 4 generators, and then you only have 3, and then you only have, like, but then you got, like, 3 left in the middle. Right? Because then, you're, like, at a 3 gen where it's like, you got 3 gens that need to be done. And you got, especially if you go get, like, the Skull Merchant. That's even worse, which is, like, I just feel like if you play with the Skull Merchant, dude, I'm not going to get on that. If you play against the Knight and Skull Merchants, dude, I swear, dude, like, I don't know what your problem is. Like, I don't get your life. But I'm going to leave it alone. But yeah, if it's 7 generators and you do 4 of them, and you only got to complete 1 more generator, but then there's 3 left and there's 3 in the middle, it's easy for the killer to just camp that area. They can just hit you, run to the other gen, use pop, kick it, whatever. They can just run around. So it's really hard for you to break that. And then game just lasts forever at that point. Or you just die, right? You just give up or you just die. What you want to do is you want to try to knock out those 3 gens early in the beginning, in the middle, usually like main gen. Like if you go to a gen that it has like an outside, which most maps are, and they have like a main building, they likely have like a gen that's in the middle, that's like the main building, and they got like gens that's like around on the outside and stuff like that. So that's a good indication to also help you break those. And what you want to do is you want to essentially focus on those, break those 3 gens. That way the killer has to go on the outside and chase and go across the map. And that's if a killer is, getting juiced in chase, But other than that, I mean, that's how you want to do it. But at the same time, like when I was getting back to the whole killer thing, is that if you play Survivor enough and you camped pallets or your teammates camp pallets, because that's all Survivor's going to do, especially at like the lower level. They think their way to do it is just to camp a pallet. Again, I've been there, so I'm not trying to on some level I'm bashing it, but on some way I'm not, because I've been there before, where I'm like I'm scared. I see the killer. Well, I'm not scared, but I guess you are. I mean, you're nervous. I ain't gonna say I'm scared. I'm a grown man. I ain't gonna say I'm scared in the game. Like that's what the f. Like I'm not. Listen, I'm not terrified. Oh my god. Like I just haven't. I've only had like one dream about Dead by Daylight. Like one dream. I remember it was a time like the clown was like chasing me, and I woke up and somebody was actually playing against clown. So like I don't know if he was in my dream, was he trying to clown me? I really don't know. But what I'm saying is that like if you play killer and you play survivor, you can see both things. You can kind of move in that. You can kind of mirror it a little bit as far as what you would do. So like if you know that you can't palace, a lot of people can't palace. As killer, if you're playing killer, you know to just get that. You know that they're gonna be camping that pallet. You can try to hurry up and hit them really fast, because in this game they'll do that. In this game they'll give the killer that leeway. They'll give killer that hit. They'll give killer that extra. You know what I'm saying? Like too many times you threw down that pallet, but they still said it did not hit. Like you did. I mean you didn't throw it down fast enough, right? On the flip side, let's say you play killer a lot, and you play survivor. If you know that not like if you're a good chase, you're a good survivor, and you know how to loop, you probably as a killer, you probably if you chase a good survivor before, you know what it's like to like see a survivor like loop and mind game and know when to throw the pallet and stuff like that. And I just feel like as killer there are certain things you can see. As killer you already know where a lot of the like good loops are, because you can just see loops because you have a wider FOV, which is the field of view. And as killer, I'm almost losing my train of thought here. I'm trying to make a point, and I'm kind of tired, but I do apologize for that. What I'm saying is, okay, I was talking about if you play killer, if you play survivor, play killer. If you play killer and you play survivors, I feel like as killer, you know exactly where the 3 gens are going to be at, because you've already seen them as killer. You know what good perks are. You know a lot of killers are going to use lethal pursuer, because again, killers love talking about how they hate survivors metas, but then that's all you see is lethal pursuer. Why don't you do the work? Okay, like you can look at our scratch marks. You can see if we're leaving them. You can see like you'll find us in time. You know there are generators across the map. You already see that in red, but no, you have lethal pursuer. Why? Because you want it to be easier. People want things to be easier on both sides of killer and survivor. So that's one thing to help you, as far as what I'm saying is play both sides at the end of the day. There's so many things that you can benefit from. Now, this is another thing I want people to understand this too. I'm not going to talk about so much about don't drop shack pallet. To me, sometimes there are situations that it makes sense to do it. And then when I just see a survivor, like you ever see a survivor literally, and I'm going to say this like I'm so serious. I'm so irritated with this. Like you ever literally see a survivor, it's going to like drop the pallet, but you can't do nothing about it. They just standing there. Like the other day, like literally yesterday, I'm playing against a Wesker in Eyrie of Crows. And it's this Jane. I don't know what it is about Janes in this game. I'm not the type of person to think just because you main a certain survivor killer, that means you're automatic. Well, okay, I ain't going to say that. Because if you main Blight, you get on my nerves. I don't like you. If you main Skull Merchant, you already know. Because I feel like you playing with killers that get on my nerves. Only gets on my nerves. Nobody else's nerves, right? But like this Jane, literally, I don't know what it is about Janes in this game, but this Jane, like, she body block. Okay, it's this one loop. I can't explain it any clearer than this because it's really hard to understand unless you see it. But it's this one loop where it's like a 50-50. It's around a tall wall. And if you like, okay, it's a pallet. It's around these two skinny tall walls. And if you run past that pallet, there's like a window that's right there. So anybody who's a juicer and knows how to loop know exactly what I'm talking about. That's one of my favorite loops in this game. I know it's a 50-50 wall, but it's one of those loops where you're not supposed to drop that pallet. You know, you're not supposed to ever drop that pallet. Because what happens is any pallet that you drop as a 50-50, you're going to lose. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, nine times out of 10, you're gonna lose. And I feel like you should, as killer that who is smart, will break that pallet. Now, if you are a smart player, you have a lot of hours into the game. Certain pallets you can actually mind game around, right? If you understand check spots, if you understand what will hit and what will not. But keep in mind, it's not always the check spots and understand how to fast vault and when to fast. It's not gonna always work in DBD. You know how it is with people internet connection. You know how bad that can be, and you be like, "How did that hit? All these delayed hits, right? Like all these hits does not make sense." So anyway, it was this pallet. You know, the killer likely had Lethal Pursuer because he knew exactly where we were, and I had a key. You know, if you use if you want to get better and like if you want to like mind game the killer without using object, which I love object by the way. What you do is if you get you like the iridescent key, or if you get like the purple key or the green key, I would recommend either the green key, the broken key. When I first started playing DBD, I thought that was like a pointless key. It's not. If you pair with bloody amber or blood amber, I think that's what it's called, and prayer beads give you 15 seconds of use. Blood amber allow you to see the killer's aura. Now, if they're stealth, I can't do nothing for you. You know, if it's a stealth killer, you're on your own. Right, you can see the stealth killer like a ghost face when they reveal themselves, or like a Myers, but when they stalk, you can't see them. To make a long story short, she body blocked me, and he was already in this. You know, Wesker does this thing where he's about to like, you know, he's charging up, and if he hits you, like you can get infected, but also, God damn, you know, it's like. If he hits you and then the survivor is like near you, y'all both get infected. It's just you get injured, that person just get like mend, and it is affected with the mending stage, if that makes sense. So she only got hit with the mending. To make a long story short, I knew where he was at. He was behind me trying to come through. She literally just stood there. And you know how you yell at the TV, move, like, you know, I ain't mean to yell like that, but like, yeah, like, you know how I can't do it too loud because, you know, I got neighbors. It's like already 12 in the morning and stuff. So like, but like literally she stood there because she was afraid. I know it took a while to like explain that, but I want y'all to understand, like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like in this game, it be your own teammates because they are scared of killers. They don't want to go down, and they will waste a very good pallet. You never waste that pallet. I'm gonna describe it again so you understand what I'm talking about. It is a pallet with tall walls, and it's a very skinny. It's a loop between these very skinny walls. And if you go past it and you don't drop it, there's a window. See, that's how what we call connecting loops. I know there are survivors that would just instantly chuck pallets out of fear. I know there are survivors who don't understand what is a god pallet, which is a pallet where a killer usually have to break. Like they have no choice but to break that pallet. Then there's filler pallets where they're just like around the map. They're not really all that safe. And then there's, you know, shack pallet. You know, that's really a very good shack. I mean, a very good shack. That's a very good loop. Because the killer, you pretty much have a window, which I always recommend. If you could get to it, take the window first. That loop that I'm talking about, it's a 50-50. If you lose it and you can't see where the killer is, you're likely gonna get outplayed. It happens most of the time. You have very little room for error. I would just take that window. Most killers, believe it or not, this is how you really outplay killer. You don't just make the obvious plays. I mean, most killers are going against a lot of bot survivors and newer players. So So they make the obvious play. So you have to get to the point where you understand to just not make the obvious play. That's what I like about mind gaming, is that it's not you making the obvious play. You have to think on your feet. I'm trying to tell you, you do not want to throw these 50-50 pallets. You keep running. Please keep running. Okay? Because the killer will bag up. The killer will killer's going to assume you're going to throw it, right? So just keep running. Another thing, too, is connect your loops. It took me a while to start doing that myself. You don't have to make the obvious play, as I said before. But, like, let's say if you at, like, I don't know, that map with the tractor, like cow shit, and they got that cow tree. Like, there's many times I've looped around that cow tree. You know where the cows are, like, the deceased cows are, like, hanging from the tree and stuff? Cow tree. Sorry, it's really hot in here. You can just literally just keep running. Keep running around that. You can sometimes, I mean, you can use it. It's a very good loop. It's a very good loop. But you can literally, like, if you see that pallet, let's say you see a cow's tree and you looping around it, you can keep looping a bit, if the killer's not going to catch you. But you can also, if you see a T and L wall, you can run to that too. The goal is to throw the killer off. But you keep in mind, you also have to understand what killers you're going against. Like, if you're going against, let's say, a huntress, it's not going to be easy to loop against a huntress and what I call an open face loop, where she can hit you of a hitbox with her hatchets, right? So it might not be so so easy to just run away in the open distance, because now you're vulnerable because you're in the open distance. But if you are literally going against a legion, or you're going against a Sadako, it's just even easier. So you can mind game. And the goal is to just throw the killer off. You get what I'm saying? Also, to practice on hugging your loops tightly. You can go to the custom matches with friends. You can go to get started and practice hugging your loops tightly. Practice looking behind you. These are things that's going to take time. So I'm not coming at people like as if they should know immediately. These are things that will take time. But you have to understand that that's the best way you're going to be able to do it. Also, too, I mean, like, Any Means is a very good perk. I love Any Means. That is Yui's perk, her original perk. It doesn't have a cooldown anymore. Anytime somebody drops a pallet, you can see it in yellow. You can just pick it back up. Do that. Mind game around stuff like that. Just don't be. This is a video game. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. It's that simple. In the beginning, I understand, in the beginning, like, especially there are a lot of survivors who, like, they use certain survivors. Like, I see a lot of people use Nia. Usually, if you use Nia, you're looked at as a juicer. But just because you use the flashlight and you drop a pallet and you stun the killer and use the flashlight does not make you a juicer. I watch too many POVs. If I died and I'm looking at a survivor and they can't loop like that. They camp every pallet. They use windows of opportunity. And they literally chuck every pallet. And you have to understand these are limited resources. I didn't understand this when I played. But these are limited resources. So what I mean is that, you have to understand that you are not the only one to use that pallet. If you are not, if you are not a juicer, right, but I am, wouldn't it make, like, I understand that solo queue is different. Because this is not TCM or Friday the 13th. We don't have natural comms. But I'm trying to get you to understand. If you are not in that, hold on, give me 1 second. Never mind, I'll just wait till I'm done. If you are not a natural juicer, but there are people who are natural juicer, and it does so much to me when I see somebody just throw down a good god pallet, a strong pallet. Like, it's like, especially against a killer like a Wraith. Like, I jumped on here and I just got through playing on Eerie's the Crows. No, not Eerie Crow. Yeah, I went against Wraiths twice, like 2 different Wraiths. On Eerie's the Crow, I think it was a Fang or it was somebody. Literally. Sorry, my bad. I'm sorry. My bad. Literally, just, like, that one loop, it's like that. It's like gate. They rarely have it sometimes. It's a pallet. It's like a god pallet, right? Like, you really have to, like, try to force me to break that pallet. Like, you have to force me to try to throw it down, which me, I'm either gonna, like, loop it and I'm gonna do a vacuum stun, which I'm gonna get on in a second, or I'm just gonna like connect another loop, and then it's gonna be hard to catch me there because that's a very good palette. What you could do is also, as I talk about vacuuming loop, is have you ever seen somebody? It's risky because sometimes you can still get hit, but like you act like you're gonna keep going past the pallet, and then you just hurry up and drop it, and the killer, like you sort of giving them the illusion that you're gonna go around one more time. But keep in mind, if you're not like losing killer and chase, and you're not stunning them, you're not losing bloodlust. It doesn't reset. So I mean, unless you're losing them, and you're breaking line of sight, which means you're connecting your loops and stuff like that. Maybe you're connecting through a wall. It's really hard to break killer's bloodlust. Especially, they upped it, so now they just catch you even faster, right? But the point is that in that map, she just dropped that pallet, and it's just like when you see a pallet that's gone immediately, it just sucks. It's just so demoralizing. That's what makes DBD so unfun to me. Is that I wish there were 1v1s. I wish there was a mode where it was just chase, no generators. Generators are so boring, and I understand it is so boring to just sit on a gen. It is highly boring. It's highly hot in here. I don't know what's going on, dude. It's almost winter, or it's almost fall. It's basically fall where I'm at, and I would get 4 seasons, and I love fall. Birthday's next month, so I get it, right. It's Libra gang. It's Libra time. But it is so hot, dude. Literally, so hot, dude. Ain't nothing like fall. Ain't nothing like the beautiful leaves coming down and peak coat time. Gotta get fresh. You already know how it go. But pretty soon I'm about to wrap this up. I just want to recap about at least I know I was just talking about anything, but I wasn't talking too much about looping. Looping does not take overnight. Practice with people, play both sides. Don't be afraid to try different things. You'll live. I mean, you probably won't live that match. You might get tunneled out and camped out, but I mean, you'll live past that or whatever. Don't be afraid to just make mistakes. It's just that simple. I mean, when Alien come out, I'm trying FOV text. Oh, and here's another thing too. All right, listen, I'm gonna keep it a bean, dude. I know y'all knew, so I'm trying to give it. Dude, 360 does not work. It works for you, but not for real though. So it doesn't work for you. It does not work. It does not work. It work against newer killers who don't understand what that is. When I used to play the game in the beginning and I tried to do 360, my friends showed me that that did not work against him. And I don't. Well, you probably did it wrong. I did not. It's 360, dude. It's not listen. If you're on console, I understand it's not the same as PC. As far as being able to move the mouse and stick like that. Which at the end of the day, I try to get people to understand this too. PC players, when it comes to Survivor, it's not that much different than Survivor on console and in controller. If you want to argue about Oni killers, so if you are an Oni player, it helps you flick with a mouse versus a controller. I ain't gonna say duh, but you have a point. If you want to talk about nerfs, basically when it comes, it's only really matters, and it kind of helps you if you are a killer on PC than it is if you are a survivor on PC versus controller. It's really no different. There are so many bot survivors on PC with hours into the game. I'm talking about thousands that still cannot loop. And I don't understand how you could be a survivor, man, with so many hours and you don't understand how to loop. You have to get better. You have to do that just to help your team out. And trust me, I'm going to tell you this now before I close. You'll understand and learn for real what it's like to be a juicer on the team and then just look around and I'm talking about you dropping him off, you Kyrie with it, but you know what I'm saying? You doing everything you can in life to make sure that you buying time for your team. Just to look around and see somebody with a flashlight, knowing that they're going to miss. Or they just in the basement just doing nothing. If you are not a juicer, you do not understand. I promise you that. It's too many times I'm running the killer, and it's just the satisfaction the killer knows that they're not getting any pressure done on the gens. They don't have to break chase because ain't nobody doing gens anyway. The killer doesn't hear a pop. So that's what makes it that too. So all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, yes, it's a game, but you can still be critiqued, right? So it's just really that is. But Yeah. So know how to connect your loops. There are good palette perks. I think it's called Smash Hit. You stun the killer. You are able to run away faster. It is an exhaust perk. Any means you can just pick up the palette. It's just what that is. It's just what it is. But learn how to be a better survivor. Don't be so altruistic. If somebody's in the basement, I'm sorry, they gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do what you have to do. And it's not like, I don't understand this. Like, y'all act like y'all never gonna see y'all friends again. Like, if y'all leave them in the basement and you're on my team, like, because I've always said this, like literally, if I'm being left on the hook, I don't care, because at the end of the day, I just want to make sure that we win the game. I'm gonna see you in like 10 minutes, like, or 5 minutes. Like, why do y'all do that? Like, y'all act like y'all never gonna see your friend again. Like y'all just buried y'all friend in real life, but it's only on DBD. Like, dude, relax. Cause I don't like giving up. Like, dude, you ever have a killer that you want to beat and be at the exit gate and teabag, right? Because they were, tunneling and slugging and hitting on hook and all that stuff, and like you just want to like give him a 3-man or 4-man out, and like I'm talking about like he maybe just doing that to you. The best way to get back at killer is to give him a loss. But no, what y'all want to do is y'all want to sell the game. Y'all want to sell the game and make it where he gets to be a D-head, but you also lost to him too. So it's like, how do you feel about that? And that's what makes me just like very just tired from DBDs, because it's just such in killer's favor and it's just so unfair at this moment. But I did enough rambling tonight, man. I think I've touched on everything as far as like, just what I think about DBD, my past matches experience, and also just like basic tips, and like if someone invests tips on looping. But like I said, I'm gonna have at the end of this video or the end of this audio recording my tips and rants video of people, or just like a specific video on people want to know how to loop better and stuff like that. But hey, please sub to the channel if you haven't already. Please like the video if you haven't already. And I'm gonna go and get some sleep. I'm gonna try to upload this tomorrow. I'm just very tired. I gave y'all 40 minutes, so at least it's that. Like, it wasn't an hour, but at least it's that. I got an early morning. I'm tired, and I already got to get up, so I gotta take care of some stuff. But I mean, I love doing these. Like, don't get me wrong. If I'm so blessed and glad that there are people who actually like what I'm doing. It makes me feel like I got something. You know what I mean? So, cause this is all I got as far as my channel. Like, I stopped playing NBA 2K, so that was what really started my YouTube career. So, but now I do this. I just want it to be that. But hey, hope you guys have a blessed night or day whenever you are seeing this. And catch you guys next time. Have a safe day out here, and peace.